Good morning viewers, welcome back to my YouTube video classes. So here we were discussing on the subject indirect tax 2 on the chapter customs duty. So in my last class we were discussing on the chapter of the value of supply. So for the BCom student 6th semester. So here today also we'll move with the same subject, but the chapter I am going to take the chapter of customs duty. uh, in customs duty also the problems will be asked in your examination. So to calculation of the assessable value and also the computation of the customs duty payable. So with respect to this we'll see some theoretical aspects before we move to the problems. So here the first thing is that the customs duty, the basic of the what are the events that you are going to tax it. We'll see what are the taxable events under the customs duty. So before that, the customs duty means here it is the power given to levy the customs duty. Yeah, it is under the Customs Tariff Act 1975, and we say that the customs duty means it refers to the duty that is levied on the import of goods as well as on the export of the goods. The taxable event means the first thing is that we'll see the basic conditions for the levy of customs duty. So on which you are going to levy the customs duty. Customs duty, it is also one of the indirect tax, as we know, collected by the government. And here the customs duty, what is the basis for the levy of customs duty? On what you are going to levy the customs duty? The main basis for the levy of customs duty is the import and the export of goods. That is, goods becomes liable to charge the duty or to levy the duty when there is import into or when there is a export from India. So we'll see what is import. We are going to import so many things from abroad or from outside country or from other countries. So we'll see what is import. Import means here as per GST law it is given under section 2 subsection 23. That is, import means bringing into India from a place outside India. It's so simple. So bringing some goods into India from the place outside the India or from other countries or from abroad. Export, it is given under section 2 subsection 18. Export means it is taking out of India to a place outside India. Means you are exporting, you are sending goods from our country to any other countries or to different countries. That we call it as the export. So here I told exporting into India or importing into India or exporting out of India. So India, it includes the territorial water also for the under section 2 subsection 27. So here territorial water means here it is extended to the 12 nautical miles from the baseline on the coast of India. So this is the basic thing that is on which you are going to levy the taxable event under the customs duty. And the customs duty, here the act we will know, act it is given under section 1962, that is the Customs Act. So like any other act, is also a primarily that act is enacted for the levy of and collection of the duties. The main objective for the levy of customs duty is to regulation of imports and exports, and second thing is to protect our domestic industry, or in our own mother industries of our country. And third thing is to prevention of the smuggling, if there is any smuggling activities, so to prevent that smuggling activities which is of against the law. So to prevent that smuggling activity also, the Customs Act has enacted to levy the customs duty, and also to conserve and augment the foreign exchange, for the conservation and for the augmentation of the foreign exchanges. And here the section 12 of the Customs Act, that section provides that duties of customs actually it is shall be levied at the rate that is specified under the Customs Tariff Act of 1975 or other applicable acts on goods imported into or exported from India. So here this is the section, that section 12 specifies that. So what rates you are going to levy, that is given under section 12 as per the Tariff Act of 1972. You are going to levy the customs duty on the goods imported or exported from India. So we'll see one more tax, that is IGST, which is introduced in the year 2017, Integrated Goods and Service Tax Act, Service Tax. Here actually it came into effect in the year July 2017 under the President of India. It is extended to the state of Jammu and Kashmir also. Accordingly, that if goods is imported into India are now subjected to IGST. So here you are going to levy the customs duty. BCD, basic customs duty, is going to levy when there is import or when there is export from India. Apart from customs duty, you are going to charge IGST, that is Integrated Goods and Service Tax, is also levied on the goods imported. But before that there was another two duties, that is countervailing duty and SCVD was there, that is special countervailing duty was there, and now it is not there. Instead of that, IGST is levied with the customs duty. And we know that petroleum and tobacco products, actually it is out of the purview of the GST. And on that same, that CVD, that is countervailing duty, and special countervailing duties are applicable for those petroleum products. Types of duties. So we'll see there are various types of duties are levied on the goods imported and goods exported from India. And see what are the types of duties. The types of duties is important for your exam also. It will be asked in theoretically for 15 marks or 10 marks. Types of duties. First duty you are going to levy when there is import of goods or import of goods. The duty is that basic customs duty. We call it as a BCD. It is levied under section 12 of Customs Act of 92, and as per section 12 of the Customs Act of 1962, and as per section 2 of the Customs Tariff Act of 1972. It is levied on the percentage of value as determined under section 14(1). Actually there are different rates for different goods, but generally we levy the basic customs duty at a rate of 10%, and this basic duty may be exempted if it is notified under section 25. If it is notified under section 25, BCD is to be exempted, means then basic customs duty is not levied on the goods imported. Here in basic the customs duty, I told the good duty is levied on the basis of that is I told on the import duty and then export duty. Actually how it is determined means it is determined on the basis of the following basis. First is that on the basis of specific duty, and second on the basis of the ad valorem duty. So here the specific duty means the duty it is determined on the basis of the measurement of the goods. Means when you can measure the goods, the quantity of the goods and all, that measurement we can call it as a specific duty. On that basis you are going to levy the basic customs duty. Secondly, you are going to levy on the basis of the ad valorem duty. So here ad valorem duty means when that is on the basis of the value of the goods. When you cannot determine the goods on the basis of measurement or quantity, then you are going to find it on the basis of the value of the goods. That is called as the ad valorem duty. So here this is the two bases you are going to use to levy the customs duty. Second type of duty is that additional customs duty or countervailing duty. It is given under section 3 subsection 1. So here they say that it is levied under section 3 subsection 1 of the Customs Tariff Act of 1975, and this is the second duty, and in addition to the basic customs duty. So it is equal to the amount of the excise duty that is payable on the goods manufactured or produced in India. And the countervailing duty is imposed when excisable articles are imported in order to counterbalance the excise duty. This duty is charged, and it is similar to the goods if it is manufactured in India. So excise duty means it is one of the duty what you pay when the goods are manufactured in India. So in order to counterbalance that duty, if the same product, instead of manufacturing, if you import that goods, then you are going to charge the additional customs duty or the countervailing duty. Third is that additional duty, or we also call it as a special additional duty, and shortly we say it as a SAD. It is given under section 3 subsection 5. The central government may also levy one more duty in addition to the basic BCD or additional customs duty. So additional duty is levied to counterbalance the sales tax. To counterbalance the sales tax, value added tax, or any local taxes that is leviable on the articles on its sales, purchases, or transportation in India. So for to counterbalance that taxes, the taxes like sales tax, VAT, that is value added tax, local tax, or any other tax when it is on the articles, if it is sold, purchased, or transported in India, then one duty is levied that we call it as the additional duty. The rate is specified by the central government. So they say that additional duty should not exceed 4%. That is notified by the central government. Next is that protective duty. So protective duty, the name itself says you are going to protect your own mother industries or the product produced in your own country. So in order to protect your own mother industries or the goods of your own country, then you are going to charge one more duty, that is protective duty. It is given under section 6 and 7. The protective duties, it should not be very stiff. Actually, it should not be very stiff so as to discourage imports. Usually we import the goods and services when the goods are not available in our country, or when there is shortage of availability of our country. In such situation we are going to import the goods, and when there is more requirement for you in your business. So they say that the protective duty should not be very stiff to discourage the imports. It should be sufficiently attractive to encourage imports, actually to bridge the gap between the demand and the supply of those articles in the market. And why it is levied? It is levied in circumstances exist. I told to render it is necessary to make immediate action to provide protection to any industries established in India. So to give protection to the industries that is established in India, to take immediate action, a duty is levied to control the import of the goods into India. It is mentioned under the section 6 and section 7. Next is safeguard duty. It is given under section 8B of the Customs Tariff Act of 1975. The central government safeguard duty. So you are going to protect the goods of our own country or our own industries. The central government may impose the safeguard duty on specified imported goods, on specified, not on all goods, on specified imported goods, if it is satisfied that the goods are being imported in large quantities and they are causing serious injury to domestic industry. So you have to think that if you are going to import the product or goods in large quantities, if you are importing in large quantities and it is causing injuries to our own industries in our own country, means then to safeguard that, the government is levying a safeguard duty. And the safeguard duty, it is restricted to levy for the period of 10 years. And countervailing duty, one more duty levied apart from basic customs duty is the countervailing duty on subsidized articles. So countervailing duty on the subsidized articles, it is given under section 9 of the Customs Tariff Act. Here section 9 subsection 1, it provides that it is the duty levied on the subsidized articles. It is imposed if any country or territory directly or indirectly pays or bestow subsidy upon the manufacture or production or exportation of any articles. Such subsidy includes subsidy on transportation of such articles. Such articles are imported to India. If any such kind of articles, subsidized articles, if it is imported to India, then government is going to levy a duty that we call it as the countervailing duty on the subsidized articles. And the last one is the anti-dumping duty, that is on the dumped articles. It is given under section 9A of the Customs Tariff Act of 1975. So anti-dumping duty. So if you are importing any where any article is exported by an exporter or producer from any country or territory to India at less than its normal value. So if any country exports their products to India at less than normal value, then upon the importation of such article into India, if you are importing such articles into India, then the central government notify in the official gazette to impose an anti-dumping duty not exceeding the margin of dumping in relation to such articles. So we can see that anti-dumping duty means whenever in other countries, if there is no demand for their product, what they do means, so those products will be dumped into other countries like India if it is imported to India in large quantities. If you are importing to India in large quantities, then the normal price, then the government is going to charge the duty, that is anti-dumping duty. So these are the types of duties that you come across in the Customs Act under the customs duty, and it will be asked for theory also. Explain what is customs duty, explain different types of the customs duty. And next we'll move to find out how the transaction value or assessable value is calculated to levy the customs duty. To the basis for the levy of the customs duty is to you have to find the assessable value. So to find the assessable value, how you are going to find the assessable value means you have to take the base as the price. So here you have to take the base as the price. You take the price whatever you import, that price you have to take as the base. So you that it is the amount you take it for the right end, and for that you take add expenses. So you have to take add expenses. Expenses means here the expenses incurred by the buyer but not included in the price, and actually paid or payable for the imported goods. So these are the any expenses with related to the production of the goods that you are going to import, and any expenses met by the buyer which is required for the production of that imported goods, and any expenses, selling expenses, and any expenses that is incurred from the place of the boarding of goods till the delivery of the goods, and expenses with related to these to be added. So what are those expenses means, some expenses I have quoted here which you commonly come across in your problem, that is commission. If any commission and brokerage is there, that is to be added. So commission, in case of commission and brokerage, you should not consider the commission that is buyer's commission. If any buyer's commission is given in the problem, that is not to be included. Next, if any cost of containers, if it is supplied, and if any materials, any components, parts supplied by the buyer which is needed for the production purpose, which is to be imported by the buyer, and any design and development charges incurred by the buyer or by the supplier, any tools, molds, any dies which is required for the production of the goods that is to be imported by the buyer, and any expenses incurred for that, any materials consumed in the production, any goods that you are going to import, that goods is to be produced. For that production, if any materials that is used, that material consumed in the production is also to be added. Any engineering charges, any development work, any artistic work, any designing charges, any plan expenses, any expenses relating to the sketch So these expenses is also to be included. And next, if there is any royalties, any license fees incurred, that license fees, royalties is also considered as a part of the import expenses. It is to be added. So these expenses is to be added, and any expenses with relating to the subsequent resale or disposal, if it is given in the problem, that's also to be added. If you add all this, you will get the price, that is FOB price. So you take the total, and if you add to the price, then you get the FOB price, that we call it as the free on board price. After finding free on board price, you had to add the expenses, that is the transportation, cost of transportation, and then insurance you had to add. So relating to cost of transportation, if freight charges, if any goods are imported through the air, that is you had to pay the freight charges. Then in case of freight charges, you had to take the 20 actual freight charges, or the 20% of the FOB, that is free on board price, you have to take. In that, whichever is less is to be added. And this whatever the freight charges you pay, that it should not exceed 20% of FOB. For that reason, you take the comparison, and whichever is less is to be added. Next, you have to take cost of insurance. So cost of insurance, if it is given in the problem, you take the insurance amount and you add it. If insurance amount is not ascertainable, if it is not findable, then you have to take, as per the rule, they say that you have to take 1.125% of the FOB, that is free on board price. In that, you take 1.125. So you add the transportation cost, you add insurance cost, then you will get the price of the CIF price. CIF price means cost and insurance, cost of insurance and freight charges, that we call it as the CIF price. And for that, you add one more adjustment, that is landing charges. So you have to take landing charges, that is we call it as loading and unloading charges, 1%. You have to find it on the CIF price. So if you add landing charges, the whatever the total you get, that is the treated as the assessable value or the transaction value. So this is the procedure to calculate the assessable value or the transaction value. So with this, we will end up the explanation of the chapter customs duty, and in next class we'll try to solve some problems on the customs duty. So keep watching this channel, and also do subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.